Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. This is Truth News. I am Walter Bass. Today, we are going to cover the losses of the war, the cost of the war that's not a war. It's an excursion, but it's a war that's an excursion that's not really a war. Our leaders don't even know if it's a war or an excursion or military strikes. We've heard everything. And we're going to acknowledge the dead soldiers, who they died for, what they died for, and we're going to tell the truth about it. And it's sick, it's evil, it's uncomfortable, and it's despicable. And this is the United States of America in 2026. We're also going to talk about where we're at, why we're here, how we got here, and who got us here. And I think we all know the answer to all of those questions, but we're going to go over it. Today is day 1651 since serial child killer state judge Kelly Hansen, who has raped, murdered, tortured, sold, and kidnapped thousands of innocent American children over his 16-year career as a state judge, kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and murdered my son, Grayson Bass, who has not been seen or heard from since 2021 because Riverside County, California is Sinaloa cartel owned and operated, responsible for the mass rape, murder, and sale of children from Riverside to Romania, whether it's Greg Laurie's Harvest Church, Sinaloa Sheriff Chad Bianco, Mike Hestron, the despicable district attorney who aids and abets the rape, murder, torture, and sale of children, or devout Mormon state judge Kelly Hansen, who is a child serial killer who no one will do anything about because if you have enough money, raping, murdering, and selling children is perfectly acceptable in the United States of America. Henceforth, President Pedophile Donald J. Child Rapist. Just for reference, 1,651 days is 4 years, 6 months, 1 week, and 4 days. 4 years, 6 months, 1 week, and 4 days. I have gone to the FBI with 32 phone calls, walked in the FBI San Diego field office with a folder full of evidence Monday, September 13th of 2021. And because the FBI fucks children, sells children, eats children, they decided to terrorize me and my elderly mother for the duration of this to silence and discredit me, because if you try to stop the United States government from fucking children, raping children, or eating children, then you're a bad guy. Forgive me for my language. It just gets a little old, the nonsense. It really does. Lord, forgive me. The ignorance, the incompetence, the redundance, over and over and over, the same ignorance. It's like dealing with evil toddlers, these people. They are evil toddlers. I know you are, but what am I? It's just, I'm over it. I'm over this whole terrorist regime. I'm over Israel. I'm over President Pedophile. I'm over the FBI. I'm over the CIA. I am over the Kabuki Theater show on Pedophile Hill. I'm just over it all. These people need to be locked up in a psychiatric ward. They need their own special mental health hospital, from the president to Pete Hegseth to Dan Bongino to Kash Patel, Mark Wayne Mullins, all of you, the FBI, all of the intelligence agencies. They all need, we should just all put them on Epstein Island and leave them there. No boats, no planes. You want off the island. You swim, take your chances with the sharks. If you make it past the sharks, maybe you get your freedom back. The entire regime of the intelligence agencies, Congress, president, cabinet, all of these people just need to stay permanently on Epstein Island. And we will get to Epstein Island. And first, I want to acknowledge, let's start, because I want to pay respects to the 13 military members who are now dead. 13, I want to acknowledge them. I don't think most Americans even know their names. These are dead United States military service members. And our country has not even been given their names. They have not been given the proper dignity and respect for laying their life down for the United States of America. The idea of the United States of America. And the sad part is, as we get to the end of this show, I'm going to acknowledge why they really died. And it really just is infuriating. It's despicable. That's if I can get through this show. Yesterday, it took me 3 takes to get this show recorded for 30 minutes because the camera just magically would stop working at about the 5 or 7 minute mark, somewhere around there. My video all of a sudden would just cut. That happened twice in a row. The third time it managed to let me do it. So if the intelligence agencies allow me to record this, we know we're having problems. A lot of people, whether it's Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, Coach Colin, Ian Carroll, you try to tell the truth in this country and the intelligence agencies try to silence you, discredit you, glitch your technology, military flyovers while the Epstein survivors are trying to tell their story on the steps of the White House. We've been down that road. So without any further ado, I want to pay respects and acknowledge Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Darren T. Hoover, Marine Corps Sergeant Johanny Rosario Pichardo, or Pichardo, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Pichardo. Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole L.G., Marine Corps Corporal Hunter Lopez, Marine Corps Corporal Dagan W. Page, Marine Corps Corporal Umberto A. Sanchez, Marine Corps Corporal David L. Espinoza, Marine Corps Lance Corporal Jared M. Schmitz, Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley J. McCullum, Marine Corps Lance Corporal Dylan R. Morola, Marine Corps Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nikul, Navy Hospital Corpsman 3rd Class Maxton W. Soviak, and Army Staff Sergeant Ryan C. Noss. Excuse me. That was Ryan C. Noss. Those are the 13 United States military members who are now dead from the war in Iran. That is not a war. That is a war. That's not a war. It's an excursion. It's a military strike. These people, it's despicable. And I just want to say, these people, I did not check their ages. I know one of them was a mother of 2. I know when they signed up for the military what they were thinking. They weren't thinking, oh, this is an easy way to get money. Nobody signs up for the military thinking this is an easy way to get money. They signed up for the military out of honor and respect for the idea of the United States of America and what this nation stands for. They signed up to serve their fellow Americans, to defend the United States of America. They didn't sign up for Donald Trump to distract from the Epstein files because he rapes children. That is not what military members sign up for. To be shipped off to foreign lands as a distraction because the President of the United States rapes children and don't want to acknowledge it, don't want people discussing it, don't want anyone talking about it. That's not what they signed up to die for. But in actuality, the truth is, that's what they died for. They died because the President of the United States of America rapes children and needed a distraction on top of other things, and I'll get to those later in the show. But that's the truth of the matter. All of this stuff, all of the inflation, all of the tariffs, all of the ICE, all of the Renee Goods shot like dogs in the street, Alex Preddy's, 13 military members, 200 wounded. Every bit of this chaos, every bit of this murder and mayhem orchestrated by Donald J. Trump is because Donald J. Trump rapes children and doesn't want to be held accountable for it. He don't think it's fair because his whole life he has gotten to do whatever he wants because he came from money. He has always had money, and he's always known people who would cover up for him, lie for him, protect him. And he's gotten away with rape and murder for decades. Decades. So to him, 13 innocent United States military members dead is just another day for Donald Trump to do what he wants. That's the truth. And it's despicable. This war, that's not a war, that's an excursion, that's a military strike, that's a war, that's not a war, that's an excursion, that they can't figure out what's going on, has cost the United States taxpayer $11 billion in 19 days. $11 billion in 19 days. That's not to mention gas prices going up, groceries going up because of gas prices going up. It's cost the United States military 13 dead soldiers, 200 wounded. 27 U.S. bases in the Middle East have been targeted by Iran strikes. And that's occurred in 9 countries. 9 countries. Bahrain, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. 9 countries with United States military bases, and they are targeting United States military bases. Because the last time I checked, Iran didn't do anything to the United States of America. Last time I checked, I didn't see Iranian people launching missiles at New York or Florida or California or Oklahoma or Arkansas or Texas. I didn't see Iran doing anything to America. I didn't see Iran bothering anybody, really. What I saw was our greatest asset, our greatest liability, who happens to be our greatest ally, wanting to take control of the world. They want to take control of the Middle East. So they used our country, our money, our leaders to do their dirty work. And it has nothing to do with us. Nothing whatsoever. Iran has nothing to do with the United States of America. Now they do. Now they do. Now they're going to make an example out of the United States of America because it's basically like Iran was minding their own business, doing what they do. And I'm not saying they're great people. I'm not saying it's a great society, great country. I'm not saying any of that. But they weren't bothering anybody. Whatever they were doing on their own accord, in their own privacy. And as far as I see, they had nothing to do with us. And here comes Donald J. Trump, needing a distraction from raping children. And Israel says, we want you to do this. We want you to bomb them. Well, okay, if that's what you want me to do. Because Benjamin Netanyahu is the real president of the United States of America, if he's even still alive. All the AI videos, I honestly don't think he's alive. I don't. I think when Scott Bessent got pulled off the interview he was having on March 12th, I believe, and came back 2 hours later, visibly shaking, I believe he got the news that Benjamin Netanyahu was targeted by Iran in a military strike and is dead. And I believe they're running AI-generated Benjamin Netanyahus to lie about it. Because they lie about everything else. These people lie. Lie like rugs. It's just despicable. So 14 U.S. bases have been hit with up to 17 U.S. military sites damaged or struck. And Iran, now this is where it gets scary. Iran is insisting that all countries now purchase oil from them using the Chinese yuan. You see, Iran has decided to make an example out of the United States of America. See, the United States of America bit off more than it could chew when it went messing with Iran. Because we have sent all of our weapons to Israel and Ukraine. We have used all of our missiles and bombs on fishing boats off the coast of Venezuela. We have a military known as MEAL Team 6, When they get off the truck, they're weighing 250 to 350 pounds, look like pregnant men. They can't even hardly walk, let alone fight a war. Yeah, everyone remembers MEAL Team 6. So our military, our ammunitions are depleted. Our military is not disciplined, not in fight-ready mode at all. And Iran has decided that they have a stockpile of cheap drones, cheap missiles that they build all the time, and they haven't bothered anybody in years, so they've been stockpiling their weapons. While we have been using our weapons and shipping our weapons to Ukraine and Israel, we don't have any weapons. So Iran says, okay, you want to mess with us, we're going to make an example out of you. And they're trying to collapse the U.S. dollar. And if they collapse the U.S. dollar, ladies and gentlemen, the United States of America will officially be a third world country overnight. Overnight. This is not going to be a slow, drawn-out process. And Iran is not backing down. Donald Trump can't talk his way out of this one. He can't beg his way out of this one. None of our allies are helping us because it was stupid to mess with Iran. And the only reason we messed with Iran was to do what Israel wanted and to distract from the fact that the President of the United States of America rapes and murders children. That's it. That's the truth. And YouTube can put this on the back burner. You can shadow ban me. You can do whatever you want. I'm really done. I am so done with the walking on eggshells, having to talk in code to tell the truth. I got to speak in code to tell the truth. I got to use words like Philadelphia, our greatest ally. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ignorant. And I'm done. I'm done with the nonsense. I'm just done. I'm so over it. So here's the truth. And I'm going to put this as blunt and as direct as possible. Donald Trump is dying, and he knows it. He knows he is at death's door. And because he is so full of hate and evil, and he's mad because he's dying, while the rest of the world gets to go on living without him, he doesn't think that's fair because Donald Trump is the ultimate sociopathic narcissist to ever grace planet Earth. See, he thinks if he dies, well, then everybody should die with him. It's not fair that people get to have life when he don't. Because he's never wanted for anything. He's always gotten everything he's wanted since the day he was born. No one's ever told him no. And if you tell him no, he will throw the biggest temper tantrum anybody's ever seen in their life. He is a narcissistic, malignant, sociopath and psychopath all wrapped up in one. So because he's dying and he wants to inflict as much hell, murder, and mayhem on his way out the door because he's mad at the world because he's dying. Have you ever met someone who's genuinely mad at the world and they just take it out on everybody around, people they don't know for no reason, people they do know for no reason, people who are good to them and try to take care of them? I had an aunt pass away of cancer. And her last 6 months, she was just so mean and hateful to everybody. And it was because she was mad because she knew she was dying and didn't think it was fair. And Donald Trump's the same way. And Israel is using that to their advantage and saying, well, if you want to wreak havoc and wreak hell on your way out the door, let us help you. Why don't you bomb them and do this and do that and help us do this? And that brings me back to the 13 dead United States military members. Let's tell the truth. They died for Israel. They did not die for the United States of America. They died for Israel. They died for Donald J. Trump to get rich and to have fun waging war because he's dying and he's mad at the world. That's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. And he's also mad not just because he's dying. He's mad because everybody knows he rapes children. The whole world knows Donald J. Trump rapes and murders children for fun. He's done it his whole life. He's a serial child rapist. Everybody knows it, and he don't think it's fair because he has money and he's Donald J. Trump. Well, his children, Don Jr., Eric, his grandchildren, Kai, will always be known as the people who came from a serial child rapist and a murderer. We know who their dad is. Don Jr., Eric, Kai, your granddad. The biggest piece of crap to ever grace planet Earth, Donald J. Trump. Period, full stop. He's just unbelievable. All of this whole year of mayhem has all been for one reason. Revenge, well, let's make it two. Revenge on everyone else because Donald J. Trump is dying and he knows it. And over the Epstein files. That's what it's all about. Those two things right there. That's it. All of this. The Iran war, the tariffs, the taxes, the ICE, the murders, all of it. Every bit of it. And that's the truth of the matter. So, and if it wasn't for the fact that we have a president who rapes and murders children, I could probably take my son to the park. But because the president rapes and murders children, everybody else in the government feels like they can get away with it too. State judges, U.S. attorneys, district attorneys, sheriffs, all of these public servants in the United States of America raping, murdering, and eating children. 2026 in the United States of America. Ellen DeGeneres, cannibal, George H.W. Bush, cannibal of children nonetheless. Cannibals, sick. Absolutely sick and disgusting. Before we go, I'm at the 22-minute mark. We're always going to close with a Bible verse. Always. But we're going to look at some pictures of my son that I haven't seen or heard from in 4 years. Let me give you the exact time. 4 years, 6 months, 1 week, and 4 days. That's my son. That the United States government stole, sexually assaulted, and murdered. One of millions of children. One of millions of children. And this man right here, I'm going to pull up his picture because I want everybody to know who and what he is. Serial child killer. State Judge Kelly Hansen. Kelly L. Hansen. That man right there rapes, murders, and sells children for 16 years. 16 years. And he stuck his dick in my 7-year-old son. Murdered my 7-year-old son. Because I reported him to the FBI for kidnapping and sexually assaulting my son. And the FBI doesn't want to run the case. Because he's got 16 years worth of victims. It's too big of a mess to clean up. Too many victims. Too much money. Too big of a headache. It's easier to make Walter Bass shut up and go away than to prosecute a 16-year serial child killer. How would we fix it? 16 years. All the children are dead or gone. There's nothing we can do. So we'll attack Walter Bass and his elderly mother. We'll terrorize him for years until he shuts up and goes away. We'll put him in the Epstein survivor class. Have the Epstein survivors gotten justice yet? They've been trying this since 1996. The Farmer sisters raped as teenage girls. And nothing can get done. Nothing. I'll tell you what can get done. Retaliation. Retaliation. It's just unbelievable. There's not even a word to describe how just beside myself I am. That in this whole country, 340 million people in the United States of America, 340 million. Out of all these law enforcement agencies, out of all these district attorneys, U.S. attorneys, attorney generals, governors, politicians, Ro Khanna, Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I've been contacting these people since Kevin McCarthy was Speaker of the House. All the media outlets, all the people I email every day, 70 something, probably 80 people total. 80 people total from Oklahoma City to California to Washington, D.C., all the 911 calls, all the reports I've tried to make. And you know what I've gotten? I've got restraining orders, and cease and desist letters. And this is one page. I'm going to show you one page. You see all these pages? You see how thick that is? Do you have any idea? That this is one page of phone calls to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. That's one page. I probably have, I don't know, 250 of these pages. 200. Look at all those phone calls. That's not counting hundreds of thousands of emails. That's not counting being assaulted physically 3 times by the FBI. That's not counting the FBI falsifying my background so it couldn't work. That's not counting 3 years living in a car. That's not counting all the private citizens the FBI has infiltrated and used to terrorize me, to bully me, to mock me, to ridicule me. Psychological warfare, emotional warfare, financial warfare. Because this man rapes, murders, and sells children for 16 years. That's what it's all about. Because that man rapes, murders, and sells children for 16 years, and as a state judge, the United States government has spent 4 years, 6 months, 1 week, and 4 days retaliating against me. And now I'm having to make YouTube videos over this. I got to make YouTube videos. Because the emails don't work, the 911 calls don't work, the calls to the U.S. Attorney, Adam Gordon, don't work, the federal casework with Ro Khanna, Thomas Massie, Robert Garcia, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tom Cole, Markwayne Mullins. None of it works. Nothing works. Calling the Oklahoma City Intelligence, going to the Secret Service, went to the Secret Service, nothing. Nothing works. No, you can't protect children in the United States of America and the government from the government. Because the president rapes and murders children. So if the president rapes and murders children, you're going to stop a state judge from raping and murdering children? You're going to stop a U.S. attorney? You're going to stop Sheriff Chad Bianco? You're going to stop Sheriff Chad Bianco. He's got dried blood on his dick from raping little 3- and 4-year-old children. You're going to stop Hollywood? You're going to stop Ellen DeGeneres from eating newborn babies? You're going to stop them? As they told me in the beginning of this, I believe it was 2022, they said, Mr. Bass, if you think you're going to stop child sex trafficking, you have delusions of grandeur. Delusions of grandeur if you think you're going to stop cannibalism of children or raping children or murdering children in the United States of America in 2026. That's a delusion of grandeur. Because the President of the United States rapes and murders children and laughs about it. We got 13 dead military members to defend the fact the president rapes children. We got 200 wounded service members to distract from the fact that the president rapes and murders children. We got a Congress of child molesters, pedophile hill, predator beach. These people. I'm just grateful to God that I still got my soul, my integrity. You can keep your money. You can keep your little fake power. Keep your little cameras and your little microphones and your little Fox News interviews. You can keep all that. I'll keep my soul. I would rather be broke and have this whole world come down on my shoulders than to give up my soul. Not for sale. Don't care how much you got. Don't care what you do. And you've already murdered my child. What are you going to do to me? What are you going to do? Let me get into this now that I've gone off on a rant. I'm sorry. You know, between the dead military members so the president can rape and murder children, the war in Iran, the gas prices, the grocery prices, I got a dead child. I got these people saying it's funny to rape and murder children. We got a child rapist as president of the United States of America, and people like Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, women Women are defending an 80-year-old pedophile that rapes girls? Who does that? What kind of woman defends a man who rapes women? That's what I'd like to know. Caroline Levitt, you have one child and a baby on the way, and you're under 30 years old, and you're defending an 80-year-old child rapist. What? Get out of here. So, let's see. The folly of riches. This is Ecclesiastes 5:10. Ecclesiastes 5:10. He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves abundance with its income. This too is vanity. When good things increase, those who consume them increase. And what that's saying is, the more money you make, the more you want. The more sex you get, the more you want. The more children you rape, the more you want. It's feeding an incessant appetite that can never be satisfied. Never. Never. And that's what these people are. These people have become so insatiable with their demand of money and rape and murder and mayhem that there's not enough for them. There's not enough of anything ever. Ever. They got billions of dollars. Now they want trillions. They've raped thousands of children. Now they want millions. It's just never ending with these people. Never ending. And it's never going to end. And it's never going to end. So here I am, 1,651 days later, hundreds of thousands of emails, just as many phone calls, if not more, across this whole country. Federal casework in, with every politician from Predator Beach to Pedophile Hill to California. And I'm having to make YouTube videos. Because a serial child killer employed as a state judge kidnapped my 7-year-old son, stuck his dick in him, and murdered him. And I can't even get my son's teeth, toenails, fingernails, or hair back. And they think it's funny. They think it's funny. Matter of fact, they blocked me from calling. Let's see if we can call 911 on Capitol Hill. It's the Library of Congress. They have blocked me from so many numbers.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the rape of Katie Johnson, 13 years old, the murder of teenage children. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Donald J. Trump, rapes and murders children. Rapes and murders children. What? What'd you say?
Sorry, USCP
See what they
transmitting
did?
line is not available.
Yeah. That's what you get. You just get transferred to nothing. They don't want to acknowledge it. Nobody cares. I think we live in a country of sociopaths. Our whole society has become sociopathic. Nobody cares about anything anymore. They don't even care about themselves. I mean, I know this ain't the America I grew up in. And I remember when people cared about each other. And raping and murdering children was completely unacceptable. Now they're trying to normalize it. These demons, these creatures are trying to normalize raping and murdering children. If I got to make these videos for 25 years, I don't care. If the police come and kick in my door and shoot me, I don't care. I don't care. Raping and murdering children, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the richest man on the planet, the most powerful man on the planet. I'm not going to accept it. Never. And until I get my son's teeth, toenails, fingernails, and hair back from the United States government that stole him, molested him, and murdered him, I will stay this course. Thank you, everyone, for your time, for your attention. Sorry if I went on a bit of a rant tonight. It's a lot to deal with. It really is. All the evil going on in this world, the murder, the abuse of human beings. I mean, even though these people live in another country, they're human beings. Iranians are human beings. I don't care if Russian, Iranian, New Zealand, Ireland. I don't care. You're a human being. And everybody has a right to live to just live. Until they do things that are so evil, they give up that right. Like Donald J. Trump, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pete Hegseth. These people have given up their right to life by the rape, murder, and sale of other human beings. So thank you, everyone, for your time and attention. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow's show is going to be over yet. We might talk about Erica Kirk, the Black Widow. We might discuss more on the world. There's so much news to report on. There's so much truth. The Kabuki Theater show on Pedophile Hill. The lies. Mark Wayne Mullins, liar. The show they put on, like it's good cop, bad cop, and they're all on the same team. They don't care about us. All they care about is their billionaire buddies and their pedophile pals. So, thank you, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good evening. We will see you tomorrow.